Greetings, friend. How are you doing today? I have two questions for you today. First question, do you have cell phone? Do you have cell phone? The second question, do you have internet? All right, the second one's a little bit of a trick question because if you don't have internet, I'm not sure how you're watching this or even just listening to this. This week, you and I are sharing about different things that we can be easily grateful for. See, many of us, many of you knows that gratitude are very useful, beneficial for you in your emotional health, but gratitude is also actually very beneficial for your physical health. It's been shown to help to allow you to have better blood pressure, better health in general, and so on and so forth. So gratitude, it's even help people move through their illness and so forth. So the thing that I hear the most, being a person who is proponent to gratitude and run a gratitude group and all this, is people say, you know, I'm not sure what to be grateful for. Well, it sounds like a trivial gratitude. Well, there's no gratitude that's trivial, even the smallest thing. And most people say, well, no, you know, I can only think about 2 or 3 things to be grateful for. So this week, you and I are sharing about different theme that might actually inspire you on being grateful. Yesterday, we shared all things about nature. Today, about living in the modern day, If you are as old as I am, you might remember the day when we did not have cell phone. Yes, I grew up during the time when we did not have cell phone, and it was like, wow, you know, the ability to have the cell phone, and even the first cell phone. If you remember this, the first cell phone was like this big bulky thing. It was a big bulky thing, and I think the battery lasted for like 2 hours or something like that. And then after that we have the flip phone, and it's all it does is it's call and doesn't do anything else. There was no smartphone back in the day. What about computer? You might remember what your first computer looked like, and how, what an investment it was. I remember my very first computer. It was this big giant bulky thing that in the house, I was back in the day, in the house, the only person who was able to move my CPU at the time, the big part of the computer, was my father, because it was so heavy. And now we have laptop. This is being recorded on a laptop that weighs about 3-4 pounds, and the cost of computer depend on what you buy to a degree, but the cost of a really good laptop, say from Dell or something, is very nominal compared to the way it was in the past. And so the amazing modern world. I grew up during the time back in the day when I grew up, we did not have flushing toilet. Some of you might say, what? We have squatting toilet, and there was no flushing with that one either. So as well as there was no running warm water. So if you want warm water for your shower, you got to fill up a bucket with warm water and take a shower there with the water scooper. And can you imagine, by the time you're done scooping the water, you're cold again. And thankfully, back then, it was in Indonesia. Indonesia wasn't cold. Imagine if that was in winter. So the magnificent, wonderful technology, computers, the shower, the flushing toilet, and the multiple different lighting system that we have, not to mention the the benefit of technology to health. When I was working as a veterinarian, it was very regular. Even nowadays, even animals, pet can have CAT scan, ultrasound, and all this non-invasive things that in the past you need to have a significant surgery. Now people so easily and so quickly just using an endoscope or something takes care of multiple different things. And the same thing when you do treatment, it is so amazing, the amazing of technology. And for us to have the ability, say you want to have to drink green juice at home, the way I do. I drink green juice. And the kitchen, everything that's in our kitchen, it's so wonderful. I remember the first stove I have on my own. The stove was not one of the self-cleaning stove, and it was miserable to clean those self-cleaning stuff, the inside of it, because it was so challenging. And so it is such an amazing thing that technology has brought to our life. And so what about you? What are some of things that you could think of that you could perhaps be grateful for from living in this modern world, even if you're not in the United States, where yes, there are a lot more modernizations here. Even if you're not in the United States, chances you might have a cell phone where you can call people more conveniently. Chances you have, well, an internet where you can connect to the whole world. A computer that's probably a little lighter than needing a big person to move it or something like that. And so I invite you to share in the comment in what one or two things that you might be grateful for, and even more as you go through your day and through your year, saying, "I'm not sure what am I grateful for." Well, might you be grateful for whatever the modern convenience is that many times we now take for granted. I, on my regular basis, practice teaching myself to get in the shower and say, I'm grateful for the water that's readily available and the warm water that's readily available. When I use the toilet, I learn to thank the toilet. Hey, toilet, thank you for working very well and making it so convenient, because back in the day, we didn't have things like that. And so what are one of the two things? Share them in the comment below. And I see as you embrace this, as you practice your gratitude even more and even more, and feel welcome to join my gratitude group in the same link. There's a gratitude group to help you practice gratitude, share your gratitude. Gratitude are much more beneficial for you when it is shared. We know this very well, that when it is shared, a gratitude being shared, it's much more, even when you write it down, you type it down, or you speak it, it's much more beneficial than when you just think it. And when you type it down and share it with others, it's kind of like you sharing your gift with other people, because usually it bring good feeling to other people too. And when you share your gift, more gifts come back to you, even more gifts come back to you. And so share your gratitude. What are one or two things you're grateful for? And I see that as you embrace this practice, that you feel you have even more ease, more abundance, more joy, and more success in your life, allowing you to create a magnificent, wonderful, thriving life one day at a time, and a beautiful, thriving life as a whole. And I love you very, very much, and I look forward to see you again very, very soon.